It's Brian, Atlanta Hot Tub Center and Tub Talk 101, and today, by popular demand, we're going to talk about how to read a test strip, okay? First things first, I know there's a lot of people out there that can't see color. Nothing wrong with that, but if you can't see color, obviously you're not going to be able to read a test strip. So I'm going to suggest the True Test Strip Reader. The True Test Strip Reader is a way to digitally read your chemicals. You basically take the test strip, you put it in the water, and then you flip it over onto a little pad, and then it will actually tell you digitally where your chemicals are, and that is called the True Test Reader. If you like this video, please like and subscribe because that helps our outreach. It helps us help more people with their hot tubs. So again, Brian Atlanta Hot Tub Center, Tub Talk 101. Let's kind of jump into this. So first things first, let's discuss a couple of things about test strips. You want to make sure you don't get any moisture in your test strip bottle. If you do, you will ruin the test strips. And every time you test, you're going to come back with the exact same chemicals reading on your test strip. And that's because moisture has already touched the test strip, right? So it's already been tested. So you want to make sure that you store them in a cool, dry place and you don't get any water in the test strip bottle, and your hands are basically moisture free when you're going to grab a test strip. Another thing I want to talk about is there's a couple of different types of test strips in the market today. You have salt test strips. If you have a salt system, you have traditional chlorine and bromine test strips, you have at ease test strips. So you need to make sure that you've got the right test strip bottle for you, right? Traditionally, just about everybody's going to be getting these more traditional test strip bottles like this in my right hand. This is Insta-Test 4 test strips. This is a BioGuard test strip. And these are just traditional chlorine test strips. And that's what you're going to see about 95% of the time. Now, there are some brands of hot tubs that use different systems to help automate the maintenance process and to allow you to use less chemicals and things like that. One of them being the at ease system. The at ease system allows you to maintain chlorine levels at a 0.5 part to 1 part per million of chlorine. That is 2/3 less than a traditional test strip reading at 3 to 5 parts per million of chlorine. So if you were to put a traditional test strip in a hot tub that has the at ease system, it would not register any chlorine because this is designed to register 3 to 5 parts per million of chlorine. So you would need the special test strips, the at ease test strips. It says it right on there, the at ease test strips, so that you are able to test a 0.5 part to 1 part per million of chlorine. So let's jump into this, okay? We have purposely kind of made the chemicals a little bit erratic in the hot tubs today just so we can kind of really get into a test strip and really show you some some differences between the chemicals, and allows us to look at ideal ranges and what you're kind of looking for. So let's get started here. These are traditional. We're going to do that a little bit later. These are the at ease test strips. And what you're going to do is, again, make sure your hand is good and dry. You're going to grab one of these test strips like this. Once you grab it, I always say shut the bottle immediately. We got to keep the moisture out. You're going to go over to the hot tub like so, and you're just going to go back and forth a couple of times in the water, about 3 or 4 seconds. Okay, now I already know this test strip's going to be off, but come on over here and let's get very close to this. As you can see, this purple is very, very, very dark. What that's telling me is that it's high on chlorine, that this has too much chlorine. At that point, we might want to dial down the chlorine in the actual hot tub. But we're not going to get into that today. We're not going to go into fixing chemicals today, or what to add or what not to add. We're specifically going to stick to test strips. I do have videos that go over how to bring your chlorine up, your chlorine down, your pH up, your pH down, yada, 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 etc. If you do have a question on that, please put a question into the comments below, and I'll link in a video to help you get your chemicals in balance. So here, chlorine's obviously too high. The alkalinity is in the ideal range. You see ideal? So you're always looking to get in that ideal range, okay? Same here for the pH. You want to get in the ideal range, right? It's what you're looking for. We can see down here that we only have about 50 parts per million of total hardness. We're going to need to bring this up and at least get it to about 100 parts. You know, obviously there's 150 here, 150 to 250 on the test strip. But if you get up to about 100 parts, you're going to be in good shape. Now, one thing I want to mention about this, guys, you don't have to be perfect. You can be a little high on pH, a little low on pH. You can be a little low on hardness. You can be a little low. Don't try to get it perfect. Look, if you try to get your chemicals perfect in your spa, I guarantee you, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Just get them close. Every week, go out there, get them as close as you can, and I promise the water will be good and you'll enjoy your experience. All right, so we're going to do another test here, and we're going to do it with a traditional test strip. So today I'm just going to take these guys with me, and let's go over here to the swim spa. Now, first thing I'm going to do, make sure my hand's good and dry. We're going to grab one of these guys. Okay. We're going to put it in the water like this. Again, this is a traditional test strip. Same thing. Okay. Now let's get close again. Let's read this guy close again. So what do we have here? Well, we know we have no chlorine in the water, so we've got an issue here. We need to make sure we get some chlorine in this water before this water turns green or turns bad on us. The alkalinity is pretty good and the pH is pretty good. You know, might be a little bit on that higher side, but again, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking to be close. Total hardness is pretty low, and this needs to come up. We need to get that total hardness in that 100. It's not terribly off, but it is off just a little bit there. But our biggest problem here is chlorine, so we need to go forth and get that taken care of. Remember, reading a test strip, right? What you're looking at here is parts per million when we look at the chlorine, and we're looking at a lot of these. Obviously, pH is not going to be a parts per million. That's going to be a range. But your chlorine, your alkalinity, and your total hardness is all parts per million. Your pH is getting it into the ideal range. If we look at this test strip again, remember, you line up the color, you put it right there. Pretty obvious. There's no chlorine in here, or very little. Alkalinity, you can see it's in there. Might be a little on the high side, but that's okay. Again, we're not after perfection. Here for pH, I think we're right in there, 7.5, 7.6 somewhere. In total hardness, you know, again, I think we're a little low there. We need to bring that up. Okay, so let's do one more final test. Okay, we're going to go over to the Aspen, which is our wet demo that people use day in, day out, and we're going to do one final test. But again, the Aspen is going to use the at ease. So we're going to go away from the traditional test strip here that you see, and we're going to move forward with the at ease. So Dusty, let's head over there. We'll take a little tour of the showroom as we walk over there. You know, and if you have any questions, guys, if you have any questions, just give us a call. We're more than happy to help you. You know, it does take a little time to get used to it. It's like anything, you know, it takes a little time to get used to learning how to read a test strip. But if you don't overthink it and you don't try to be 110% perfect with it, I think you'll find it's a pretty easy process. So same thing here, guys. We're going to make sure your hand's good and dry. We're going to pull the test strip out. And we're going to come up here, okay? So a little light on the chlorine, but not bad. You know, again, relatively close. I'm satisfied, but again, it is a little bit low. But look at the water, right? The water looks great, right? When we talk about alkalinity here, we're in range. When we talk about pH, we're in range, right? You can see them right there. Okay, and my total hardness a little low, but you can see some darker blue on there, so I don't think it's terrible. So I think that looking at this, guys, right? Let's look at it one more time. And I'm sorry, let's look at it one more time. I think that this is okay, right? It's not perfect, and that's okay for it not to be perfect, but it's close, and that's what we're after. This is Brian at Atlanta Hot Tub Center and how to read a test strip. Thank you.